Hi, my name is Ankur. This presentation will entail me analyzing the performance of the selected UK clothing retailers through the application of 7045 SSL, Business Analytics and Intelligence. It has been focused on assessing profitability, growth, liquidity, and capital efficiency among the companies. Table of contents. This presentation is divided into a number of segments. I will start with the description of the UK clothing retail industry and the chosen companies. I will then describe the major business metrics applied in the analysis and then provide data visualization. I shall then proceed to give statistical summaries and predictive analysis and finally give my recommendation. Now discuss about the retailing clothing in the UK. The retailing of clothes in the UK entails the selling of clothes, footwear and accessories both in the physical shops and online. Some of the key players in the market are JD Sports, Primark, Mark and Spencer, John Lewis and Superdry. These businesses are based on a great variety of products and serve various categories of customers including low-end fashion and high-quality clothings. Let's take some overview of selected companies. The five companies are analyzed. JD Sports is a company that deals with branded products and sportswear and was founded in 1985. Primark is a company that was established in 1969 and operates more than 440 stores in 17 countries and deals in low cost fashion. Mark and Spencer is an organization that provides home products, food and clothing that was founded in 1894. John Lewis, which started in 1928, owned department stores which was concentrated on quality and service. Superdry was launched in the year 2009 and specialized in branded fashion, but its performance has not been steady. Now take a look on business metrics. These results are analyzed using some major financial measures. Profitability is measured by profit before tax, which is the independent variable, turnover, gross margin, liquidity ratio, ROCE, gearing percentage, and long-term liabilities are the dependent variables. Its average gross margin is about 38.51%. The average liquidity ratio is 0.58%, and the average gearing is 120%, which implies that there is a high level of dependency on debt amongst the companies. This is how we visualize all the graph and we'll discuss further. So first one is revenue by year. Revenue trends indicate that JD Sports has been performing well and has grown in tandem with increasing the revenue of 1.5 million in 2015 to 10.5 million in 2024. Mark and Spencer also demonstrate consistent growth between 10.3 million and 13 million growth in the same period. John Lewis is not completely volatile but it varies between 9.7 million and 10.8 million. Primark exhibits a consistent growth that decreases in the period of 2020 to 2021 and then increases. Superdry peaked in the year 2018 to 19 and then declined drastically in the year 2020. On the whole, majority of companies slowed down during 2020 to 2021, followed by gross margins. Gross margin analysis reveals that there is a big difference in companies. The highest margin of 56.62% belongs to Superdry and for 48.19% to JD Sports. Mark and Spencer have a mediumly margin of 36.25% and John Lewis is 32.6%. Primark has the lowest margin of 18.88%, which are associated with its low cost business model. The total gross margin is 38.51%. Now profit by company. The profit analysis show that the performance of companies is not uniform. The average profit without tax is negative with the value of minus 2.81 million and the medium is positively with the value of 2,18,975. This implies that there are losses incurred by some of the companies and the values are skewed towards the left, meaning that the profitability is not uniform. I also done revenue by company and the details are as followed. Superdry is the highest in terms of total revenue of 6,561 million. Mark and Spencer and John Lewis are the next two with about 107 million and 103 respectively. JD Sport registers approximately 55 million and Primark is the lowest in terms of its revenue, which is about 31 million. This brings out a variation of the scale and revenue making of the companies. If we talk about liquidity ratio by company, Superdry is in the most robust position with the liquidity ratio analysis of 1.06, meaning that it can pay short-term debts well. JD Sports and Zone Lives have a medium level of liquidity at 0.70 and 0.62 respectively. Mark and Spencer is below the ratio at 0.41 and Primark is lowest at 0.11. The liquidity ratio of the companies is 0.58 on average, which is a sign of the short-term financial power generally being weak. Last but not the least, ROCE by company. The rate of return on capital used is very different in companies. Primark has the greatest ROCE of 27.40%, with JD Sports coming second with a 20.32%. Mark and Spencer and John Lewis are far much lower at 4.68% and 1.61%. Respectively, Superdry has negative ROCE of 48.05%, which shows poor capital efficiency. The mean ROCE is 1.19%, which has a high variation in performance. If we talk about the summary of the statistics indicates that there is a high variability of the data. The turnover mean is 137 million and the range is very large, example 1.5 million to 872 million. Gearing is 120%, which represent high levels of debt. The mean of the long-term liability is minus 24.2 million with variations within the firms. The liquidity ratio stands at 0.58 as compared to the current ratio, which is 1.13. The mean value of ROC stands at 1.19% with standard deviation of 60.19, which show that there is a significant variation in profitability. Gross margin average is 38.5%. Proceeding further by correlation analysis. The correlation analysis indicates that there are strong relationship between variables. There is a high positive relationship of 0.91 between the current ratio and liquidity ratio. The gross margin and the current ratio have a positive correlation with turnover at 0.67 and 0.66 respectively. The gross margin is also positively connected with the liquidity ratio at 0.78. The relationship between ROCE and the profit before tax is moderate and positive 0.44. There are negative correlation between gearing high and long-term liabilities and performance. Next, we will discuss regression analysis. The regression model has an R square of 0.32, which shows that it has moderate explanatory power, a p-value of 0.0014, which shows that it has overall significance. There is only one statistically significant variable whose p-value is 0.016, and this is ROCE, which has a positive effect on the profit before tax. There are other variables that include liquidity, gross margin, and their effects are weak and insignificant. This implies that profitability is primarily due to capital efficiency. Next one is the managerial implications. This analysis indicates that the gearing is high at approximately 120%, which is a risk to financial risk. Liquidity is very different with the Superdry recording the highest of 1.06 and Primark at the lowest of 0.11. Gross margins have a wide span of 56.62% to 18.88%. JD Sports has been showing good revenue growth with the increase in revenue between 1.5 million to 10.5 million and Mark and Spencer between 10.3 million to 13 million. The managers are supposed to strive towards enhancing liquidity, lowering the debts and improving efficiency in their operations. Key analytics focus. The major findings indicates that JD Sports and Mark and Spencer are growing strongly, whereas Superda is decreasing after 2019. Profitability margins or liquidity differences across companies are large. Gearing of 120% is a sign of financial risk, and ROCE turns out to be one of the most determinant performance. In last conclusion, finally, the performance of an organization is quite different. The growth trend in JD Sports and Mark and Spencer is high, whereas Primark uses low margin model and its gross margin is 18.88%. Superda is exhibiting the decreasing profitability and negative ROCE of minus 48.05%. Comprehensively, firms should strive to increase capital efficiency, debt management, and liquidity to increase performance. These all are the references which state that this analysis will be done using the data of FAME database and company financial reports and other supporting academic and industry resources. Thank you.